All right, and we are live. So, we're here casting Summit der Langrisser King of the Summit, round the 32 here with Meruru and Myeu. And I am here with Kata. Kata, say hello.
Hello.
Alrighty, so we're just waiting on things to get accepted, and then we should be good to go. Alright, Myeu player 1, Meruru player 2 on the bridge map.
Both these boxes look pretty standard, although SP Freya and Yulia from Meru's side are pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's a Illustrial in the main box. No, Illustrial's in both boxes. Never mind. About to say that's a bold move, but they're both doing it, so equally bold.
Something to be said is that you see the map roll in the game lobby, right? So if you want to just swap Illustrial in right after you saw that it's that map.
That is true.
First ban Hilda from Meru's side. There's a decent amount of Tensei, and there's no YL, right?
Right. And it's not surprising to see the Hilda ban. There's a lot of single target on Meru's side. You just can't kill that without AoE.
Yeah.
Landius pick is much more manageable.
Yeah, I mean, especially with stuff like Yulia and Deedlit, especially Deedlit, where you just have a 30% chance to die. It's not very fun.
Not a great time. I'm not Freya first.
Yeah, I'm not particularly partial to dying to thorns.
All right, so Meruru going Freya over Landius.
The Lusty ban immediately makes sense since Freya would buff her. Since there's still Deedlit to get buffed. There's not really a lot of healer target from Myu's side at the moment.
Right.
Wyler's also interesting.
Yeah. Haven't seen a lot of Wylers this season. There's a lot more AoE around now, and Wyler can struggle against AoE just because he almost kills himself with his 3C, and then you're not actually getting into single target. You're not actually getting into combat in order to get the healing from it either.
Yeah, he can run a mass heal, dispel, and attack retreat. But the thing is, there's a healer, Imelda, that can do the same thing, and she also has mass attack, and she just provides a lot more utility to this team.
And Imelda 3C is exceptional.
Yeah. It's like if you want an AoE healer, and since we're in such a heavy debuff meta, it makes sense to want AoE healers. Imelda just tends to do it a lot better. But Tactical Retreat can still be really good.
Oh, absolutely. Tactical Retreat can easily win games when used correctly. It's going to be a Yulia here. If this is a Lancer Landius, which it probably is, he's going to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah. Elwyn Bozel bans, you sort of want to ban that debuff. That way you don't feel too uncomfortable not picking a healer second.
Right, and this Yulia wants to just march forward into the team. So if there are AoE debuffs, you basically have to anticipate Yulia getting hit by every single one of them.
Yeah.
So you want to get as much of it gone as you can before picking a Yulia. So yeah, you're still going to have to eat Licorice, but eating just Licorice is a lot better than Licorice plus Bozel plus Ares. Plus T-Jess and Dog both could splash AoEs onto you.
I expect from Meru's side to see Deedlit picked after this. You could pick a healer, but Deedlit's a nice aggressive option, and then Myeu could opt to ban double healer, but looks like Meru thinks differently.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the Wheeler pick. I think if it wasn't Wheeler, I think it would have been Deedlit. Just to have that healing option. You usually want some sort of healer to go with a Yulia, especially if there's any AoE at all on the other side of the map. Wheeler is a very good one for Yulia. Just, 3C goes off, and then Yulia's always at full health whenever she enters combat. Makes
Yeah,
her very hard to kill, makes her do a lot of damage.
the only AoE from Myu's side is Licorice, so it should be pretty easy for Wyler to run his 3C. And there's basically all that's left in Myu's box is single target.
Yep. You do have to be careful of Florin AoE.
Yeah.
Not a lot of damage, but any damage will kill a Wheeler if you use 3C.
Yeah, Flo really makes Wyler look bad.
It is going to be a Rosen pick from Myeu. Yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable healer. It does very well against what's remaining in Meruru's box. Definitely helps, shuts out the Kruger entirely, helps a lot against Ares. Can be hard to pick off with Zerida. It will be Zerida from Meruru, so we'll have mirroring Zeridas. But just that revive can make you obnoxious to pick off at just the right time.
Yeah.
And I expect Myeu to pick Deedlit at the end here. Probably doesn't need the extra healing in Liana. Act Again, not amazing as player 1 either. Though there is Act Again on player 2 side with Wheeler regroup on Bloodthirster Zerida. So
yeah,
it's a consideration. But no, it is Deedlit.
So I'd probably expect Wyler to bring Mass Attack here for Yulia. Black out your screen.
Go to my blank screen. Yep.
Yeah.
No peeking.
The win conditions here seem like Wyler can put up 3C. That's one option. He doesn't necessarily have to go 3C though.
Yeah. I think 3C is very good for him in this game, but it's definitely not necessary. I think a lot of this game is going to come down to the Zerida dancing. We're going to spend a lot of time positioning with these two Zeridas, trying to figure out who's going to be able to get in when. There's probably going to be a Tenyo's proc that happens and just ruins it all at some point, though.
Yeah, and in part it's a lot to do with Wyler's skill set. He wants to bring an attack buff for Zerida, but he also wants to bring regroup for the combo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wyler is one of those characters who's awkward because he just has too many good skills.
Yeah.
So you can never bring everything you want.
Hello, everybody in the chat. We do have Ares versus Licorice. That's usually a risky matchup for her, but there is a Landius, so...
Yeah, there's a Landius, there's a Rosen. If the Ares is AoE, he's not killing anything, but if he's single target, you're not breaking the Landius. I think the Ares is going to have to just... If it's single target, the Ares is going to have to hang around until the Yulia does her thing to the Landius. If it's AoE, maybe... There is definitely the potential to find openings to pick off that Licorice with AoE Ares. Crystal Healing can't be on every unit the entire game, but it's hard. It's definitely not easy.
You do get like 4 turns of it with 3C Mass Crystal Healing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty long.
But here we go in game. It is a pure Lancer Landius with heavy Centurions, not the best against Yulia magic damage, especially with Infantry Yulia here, so that's going to hurt quite a bit. And there's an immediate breeze by Zerida.
We also saw Zerida from Myu's side is not running Bloodthirster.
Yeah, I did just see that. It is Shadow Raid Zerida, so that breeze is already relevant.
Rosin's also bringing Miracle over her 3C, so there could be some windows of opportunity for Mass Crystal Healing to be down.
Yeah. That does mean there's some damage reduction available, though. With no action buff, the damage reduction shouldn't be enough to save anyone, to save Licorice, for example, from the Ares.
We also actually have Deedlit, who can just cycle that cooldown. But so yeah, we'll still have that 4 turns of Mass Crystal healing.
Yeah. I think Ares still has it rough. So actually, Meruru brought Amazons on his Yulia, expecting to see perhaps Templar Knights on the
Yeah.
Landius. And then it ended up being Heavy Centurion. So those Amazons are significantly worse than if he had brought like maids or maybe even unicorns. Probably not unicorns though.
It might matter if Blood Shield procs, although I've seen Yulia's just kill through Blood Shield anyway. The main thing is Yulia just needs to take out the troops, and then Landius is pretty dead. So I think this Yulia should still one-shot this Landius, especially if it's Blood Pact and Godly Menace goes off.
I'd expect to see it, yeah. It's if you go for Holy Justice instead of Godly Menace, oh gosh, that's a tenuous breeze. Holy Justice, if you can dispel talent buff, Landius is kind of crippled without that, so you can pretty easily pick him off at that point. But there is a tenuous breeze already on the field for this Zerida, and it's another tenuous breeze for the other Zerida. All right,
Jesus,
back to dancing we go.
This is a very volatile match already.
For sure. Ooh, that's...
And Ares brought AoE. I don't think we covered that yet, but...
Yeah.
It's basically fishing for that Liko.
Right, there's not really anything else that you're killing with this Ares AoE. You're not killing Shrine Maidens, Rosen. You're not killing Deedlit. You should never touch the Zerida.
Yeah,
and you're not killing it either.
Yeah, it could also be for the swap, because he does have a bit better range with AoE.
Yeah. We actually saw that quite a bit in the Season 6 playoffs. Where Ares was just repositioning people in order to open up holes in the team for other single target units. That was a pretty big deal in the round of 16, I know.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's all about the order in which I move my tank. Maybe you dispel my guard with SPL in, and then you pull everybody in, and then everybody's free to get sniped, that kind of thing. It's all about the turn order.
Right.
Did Meruru Zerida bring Bloodthirster?
Meruru brought 3C on Zerida.
Okay.
3C backstab, I believe.
Between having Landius and the forts available on this map, it could be a missed kill on Deedlit, but you have to miss the crit. And she probably still has to be sitting on a fort.
Yeah, which crit on Deedlit in Landius Aura is, it should be, what, 29% or so?
It's
30% Landius, 20% Giant Resolve, 20% Arena Mastery. So it's definitely rough to get.
Yeah, it depends on if she's running Giant's Resolve or not, of course. And the other thing is, Meruru's Zerida looks like she's pretty high attack, so it might not be Stinger.
Yeah, you're definitely not getting that kill without Stinger.
That's a 1450 attack is usually EMB range. And Weiler actually didn't bring mass attack, he brought strengthen. He's not running Teddy Bear, so he just brought strengthen, so Yulia will always have an attack buff.
Yep, he just wants to make sure that he has no downtime at all on that Yulia, because that is his most important unit, so makes a lot of sense to do.
Also ensures there's no funny business from Liko Silence. This is just such a silly game already because the Zeridas are both zoning each other so hard.
Right, so there's a lot of looking around thinking, you know,
how do I get in?
How can I position my Zerida in order to get in? How is my enemy going to try and position their Zerida? This is just This was always a class. This was one of my favorite things to do as well, as just play these Zerida games.
There is, though, Yulia and Freya, so they can sort of use the forts on this map to choke off one section.
Right. I don't think the Yulia is going to be super happy to walk into Zerida range, though, since there is an AoE in the Licorice. You always have to be a little bit concerned about just dropping to your revive, going to 1 HP, and then getting bonked by an AoE. Freya can just walk all over the place, though. She should not have any fear.
Yeah, then the main concern there is you need to keep your Wyler having the last action once you do move the Yulia in range.
Right.
Because Meruru is player 2.
There is actually no 3C on the Wyler, though.
Yeah. Brought Mass Heal to always have an attack skill. And the thing about Wyler 3C, and it's part of what's made him fall off a lot, is what happens when the opponent just waits it out. And if you save it, then by then the map is so small, it's really easy to just snipe him right there.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Meruru was considering putting Ares into Zerida range. Changed his mind, though, and just moved the Wyler up.
Another Breeze, but well, she already has Tenyo.
Yeah, another Breeze, but Tenyo's is there, so who even cares anymore? Breeze all you want.
Breeze all the things. So yeah, we're probably just going to see both tanks slowly push up. Right.
Well, Meruru definitely picked this kind of slow push style comp with the Yulia. So I don't think... It's the same thing with Myeu as well. It's both kind of slowly walking towards each other while the Zerida is zoned to keep DPS from getting too happy.
Yeah, it's like Liko is the person holding down Myu's mobility versus Yulia for Meruru. And then they both have two other pretty mobile units. I did think Meruru brought Killing Blow on his Zerida, right? I wasn't sure.
No, Meruru is buff 3C and I believe backstab. So there will be downturns. There will be a downturn coming up this turn, in fact.
Yeah.
Whereas that Zerida's not actually threatening anything. Yulia's thinking about... Yep, Yulia's just going to walk on in. Can't die to the Zerida. Licorice already moved. So you have plenty of time to heal if Zerida comes after you.
It is actually a Shadow Raid Zerida, so there is a possibility she could miss that kill, depending on the Yulia. Aeolus, something like that, and Fixed Immune. It can be hard for Zeri.
Aeolus, maybe.
Amazons are pretty paper.
Yeah, if it was Hellfires, I'd be more inclined to agree with you, but I don't think Bandits should miss.
Yeah, we'll definitely see a Wyler move last here. He needs to save his action just in case Yulia does die.
Even if Yulia doesn't die, you still have to be careful of dropping to too low of HP.
Yeah.
So yeah, you absolutely are moving that Wyler last. Or maybe not. We could be wrong.
Maybe not, but then I feel like Yulia is dead.
Depends where turn priority goes. The Licorice is still very far away. There's not a second assassination skill from the Zerida. You are in guard.
Yeah, you're right. So she wouldn't be able... It wouldn't be possible to capitalize on it.
Right, you'll drop super low, and you can't attack at that point. But you're not dead yet.
Yeah.
You'll probably just lose a revive and have to heal. Nope, Zerida doesn't even want... And it's another Breeze. That's 3 for 3 on Myu's side.
Some pretty crazy good luck.
Good times for Meruru ahead.
There's still that nice little mountain tile next to Zeri she can take.
Right, at least it's not a Tenyo's Breeze anymore, so there is some mobility. But at this point, do do you take that mountain tile, or do you just go? Do you throw your hands in the air and say, "My opponent's gotten all the luck this game, anyways. They'll get a Tenuous Breeze if I move there."
Um, I think planning around Tenuous Breeze is usually pretty silly.
It usually is, yes. Sometimes it can just feel like one of those games, though.
Just go with Gambler's Fallacy. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it couldn't possibly happen again.
Exactly. It happened that many times.
Landius moves away, doesn't want to get bonked by the Yulia for free.
But it's Zerida versus Zerida. You can't cede ground unless you have to.
No, absolutely not. So yep, Zerida gonna move up, Bloodthirster again.
And the regroup combo is active, so can't really move stuff in for free.
No breeze procs for Meruru though. Sag.
Maybe it's Rough Sea.
It could be. You are right. Rough Sea not super common with EMB, I think. But definitely consideration.
And it just all depends on how you had her built before Stinger, because not everybody has a Stinger.
That is true.
And plus, it could not be EMB too.
Can you hit that much? Can you hit that much attack with Stinger?
Sorry, how much attack does she have?
I don't know. We'd have to see, but I think you were saying like 1450 before.
I might have them mixed up. Like that might be me, Zerida.
Oh. Ooh, it is regroup.
So is Zerida? She's in range of D-Lit right now.
Yeah, it looks like Deedwit and Landius in range.
I don't think D-Lit moved full tiles last turn. I might be wrong.
Oh, it is 1324 on Meru's Zerida, so it is Stinger then.
Yeah. It was. I got it mixed up. Myu's is the 1451.
Okay. So we just had our numbers wrong.
Yeah,
so then, very well could be Rough Sea. Stinger Rough Sea Zerida is reasonably good. Kills a lot of things that Breeze doesn't.
Yeah, I would say D-Lit has to move here, and she probably has to move back.
Yeah, D-Lit off of any kind of terrain, probably not going to survive this. Though again, you kind of need the crit from Zerida, and that's not even 1 in 3 if your Giants resolve, which most D-Lits are, not all of them.
Yeah, D-Lit could get an easy act again for 3 blocks onto the fort if she wanted and take that. But that does seem favored for Myeu, especially if he knows his D-Lit is Giants Resolve.
Right, and you also have just the Landius damage reduction as well to consider. So even if there is crit, is it actually even enough damage with that reduction, with D-Lit having however much defense she has?
Well, since it's 3C and there's Bloodbath, I think that should kill, definitely if it's a crit.
I would agree.
Maybe not. Maybe not if it's not a crit.
I would agree that crit should kill. Non-crit would be a little bit sweaty.
Yeah, it could depend on Rough Sea or not.
For sure.
And plus the D-Lit stats, of course.
D-Lit just gonna move back, Gospel up. So yeah, not even gonna run the risk of it.
Yeah, and Regroup does have a 3-turn cooldown, I believe, so it takes a while for that to come back.
Yeah, so that was kind of his big move. That was Meru's kind of big move, getting this Zerida act again, looking to pick something off. He still has the option, right? Ares hasn't moved yet, could potentially pull people into place. The only concern is if you're trading 2 for 1 there, you might be in bad shape, but if you're picking off the Licorice, then maybe Yulia just wins from there.
Yeah, no, pulling people probably from that fort all around areas, that seems good.
Zerida just going to move back a bit, and that's 4 for 4 breezes if you've been keeping count.
Yeah, it's some pretty
Yep.
crazy odds there.
Here comes Ares. Let's see who he's going to pick up, how many people he's going to pick up. Looks like he just wants these 3. Yeah, I think
Probably
Meruru
Liko.
might want this this Liko dead. Yeah. Landius takes about 50% of that as well. That's not bad.
But the thing is, can Zerida will die to Zerida next, right?
Almost certainly, yes. Someone will die to Zerida. Zerida will die to Zerida, or Ares will die to Zerida.
Then Lando will lose a life to Yulia. But Liko is one of the best tools Myeu had against that Yulia.
Right. I think this Yulia is in a pretty strong position to just take over this game at this point. Zerida's going to have a hard time breaking through that, especially if you use an attack skill here to pick off either Zerida or Ares, like you probably have to. It's going to be a long time before this Yulia is under any threat, and that entire time she's just beating on your Landius nonstop.
Yeah, and I think the Landius just gets one shot, so.
I think Freya is going to last much longer than the Landius has any hope of.
So the thing here is Landius doesn't get healed, which normally I was going to say if you heal Landius up, Discipline might not be able to kill. The other thing here, ooh,
there's no guard. But Deedlit goes down to the fixed damage. That's really... that's probably just GG. Zerida's not doing enough here to win this game by herself. Not through Yulia.
I guess we weren't paying attention to the guard counter.
Yeah, guard wore off.
And that's why Ares went in. So very well planned from Meruru.
Let me switch to the no peeking screen for backup box. Yeah, no, that was very well played by Meruru. Just a well-timed engage with Ares to pick off the Licorice, which was the key unit, to make it so that Yulia could just threaten to take over the game. And then even getting a cheeky kill on the Deedlit.
So both players choose to not change anything.
Yep. Sticking to their guns. No need to bring out the Illustrals on this map. You're in great shape here, so...
Yeah, this is a good map for her.
If this is the strategy you want to play, then these units are going to do just fine. And it's going to be Freya again from Meruru. Probably going to see the Landius again from Myu's side. I don't imagine you pick Jugler here because there's just a lot to kill it.
Yeah.
We do get an early Yulia ban from Myu's side. Not going to let a repeat of the last game happen. And
the thing about boxes these days is there's so much different that you can do in ban pick, and so many of these units are so versatile in so many different situations. So like hard changing your strategy and what you're comfortable with might not necessarily be what you want to do.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so many units are very flexible, and Ares is the prime example of a flexible unit where you can be AoE, you can be single target, you can be a tank buster, or you can try and assassinate things, right?
Yeah.
Or you can just be there for utility, for repositioning. He can do pretty much anything. Jessica, Tiny Jess, another amazingly high utility character, has the option to run AoEs.
Yeah, against Freya, her single target will pretty much never kill.
No, she should never kill. No variant of Jessica should be able to kill this Freya. But just having teleport as an option is incredible.
And we see Elwyn get banned after TJS, was always a pretty smart thing to do.
Right, those two together are really, really rough. Even if Freya's not super threatened by the TJS, that's still too many good glory units on the same side of the map.
It's just a really strong single target combo too.
Right. Will be Leanna on Meru's side. He did lose the wheeler, so he wanted to go ahead and pick a healer just to make sure that they have one. Rosen was an option, but there is a Bozel on the other side that could get picked. But Leanna's going to handle a single debuffer fine.
Yeah,
and there
you
is
can.
the Bozel.
In this situation, if you want, you can even drop Act Again for Sky Archer. Sky Archer's really good against Bozel.
Absolutely. If it's just Bozel alone, you might not need to. If it becomes, Bozel plus Licorice, I'd say you probably want Sky Archer there.
It's just super safe if there's a lot of clocks.
That is true. That is true. And it definitely depends a lot also if your Leanna is silence immune or not. If you're not silence immune, then Sky Archer helps immensely against Bozel because you can just dispel the silence if it happens to you, and then you're not in it nearly as much trouble.
Act Again still does give you offensive pressure to remove the debuffs first, though, which Lusty can definitely do against this Bozel.
Oh yeah, I'm always a fan of just going aggro, going ham, killing the debuffers before they even have a chance to clock all over you.
Yeah. Both schools of thought work.
Yep. It's going to be a double healer ban from Meruru. Looking at maybe picking the Kruger here. Yep, there comes the Kruger. So banning out two of the healers that can deal with the debuffs really well. Florin is able to bring Forest Priest, which help her quite a bit, but she doesn't have as much dispelling as Leanna and obviously Rosen. So Kruger going to be much more effective into a Florin.
We will have though Liko, Deedlit, and Mariel. Mariel's probably the worst of those dispel wise. But she could also just walk in and kill shit. That's always annoying.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mariel's pretty threatening. Deedlit less so against a Freya. Licorice is kind of threatening with the Bozel there. You're running the risk of getting overwhelmed. And then Zerida's just always a solid unit. Though against Illustrial, Zerida's underwhelming most of the time.
She can get choked out pretty hard as long as you don't just rush your Illustrial in and trade. It's nice to just sit there and use her nice range advantage. And there's plenty of terrain for Lusty on this map to walk on.
No peeking. Yep.
Other thing is about Lusty is if you bring Bloodthirster, just any 3-range attack and your Zerda is just dead.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if it's the archers.
Yeah.
But I think even if it's not archers, 3-range probably still just kills a Bloodthirster Zerda.
It is still a 30% DR, but yeah.
That is true.
Depends on if Lusty has a buff or not, which on Meruru's side, she does.
Right, Freya's providing buffs, so no worries there.
And we do see player 2 Act Again, so Meruru probably wants to bring Act Again on his own Liana just to not get hit with some sort of annoying combo.
Right.
But also 2 healers, which means Liana can run 6C setup if she would like. There's a lot of stuff Liana can do. That's why she's still here.
2 healers on Meruru's side. I guess you're counting Mariel.
Yeah.
I don't usually count Mariel as a healer, but that's close. It works. It depends on how you play the Mariel, I guess. My mind is always on damage.
She does have mass attack, for instance, which you probably would not see much.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was an option because I've never seen it.
Yeah. So whose team do you like better? I think I like Maruru's team better.
I would agree. I think it depends on how this Illustral gets used. Um, if she's able to, because yeah, I would really like to see. If I'm Meruru, what I'm thinking is, okay, well, if I can pick off the Bozal with my Illustrial, then nothing can break my Freya except, well, there's a Zerida there, so do I really want to go in for that? Um, so I think, last game we had Zerida games. I think this game we're going to have some Zerida Illustrial games where, yes, the Illustrial is zoning out the Zerida, but if the Illustrial ever goes in, then the Zerida will counter kill her, and then the Zerida has free reign. If you go in to kill the Zerida, then you have to deal with Bozal now.
We did see Bloodthirster on the Zerida from Myu's side, and the other thing is that there's the Act Again play, but as Lusty, when she can attack you from 3 range without using her 3C, she'll be able to retreat really far away, probably.
Yeah, very likely.
So I think she's basically really trying to get that Zerida, and then the rest of the team wants to stay out of range of Bozal.
Now, one thing to keep in mind is less the Act Again, perhaps, but more Rush from the Florin. Just boosting the Zerida range at the worst possible moment if you're Meruru.
Well, that won't happen. She'll just breathe every time, right?
That is true. Who needs Rush when you have Breeze, honestly?
It's true.
Alright, looks like tanks are just moving up. Full forward for Meruru. He is scared of... They are scared of no man.
It's such a big threat range for Zerida already. She already needs a Breeze proc or a Breeze from Flow to be able to reach anything.
And even then, she's not reaching a lot.
Yeah.
The terrain here definitely slows her down quite a bit. The city walls, I imagine the Freya's at some point going to position between the city walls, and then you just can't get around at all. And there's a Breeze, 5 for 5.
Well, there is the teleport from T-Jess, but you can't really go in with Zerida, or else Lusty will just kill her.
Right.
But there is Teleport Bozal.
Teleport Bozal is a thing. That would be painful. If the Illustral ever moves too early, Teleport Bozal just bonk the entire team.
You'd probably need to burn your Florentia Act Again to do it safely.
Almost certainly.
It kind of looks like that's what Meruru is thinking about.
Well, Meruru is thinking of an Act Again here, it looks like. Yeah,
that way
Act
you
Again
can't...
on the Kruger. Now player 2's Act Again loses a lot of value. Because now they're player 1.
The other thing is it prevents that Teleport Bozal play entirely, because now Lusty can just save her action.
Exactly. So it certainly feels like the best counter to player 2 Act Again as player 1 is just to have your own Act Again and then make the other guy be player 1, and then their Act Again isn't actually worth anything anymore.
Yeah, and Liana will be able to use her Act Again more than Florentia will, since Florentia is not having a buff here.
Right, Flo gets 1 Act Again ever in this game.
Yeah. Well, she could get 2. Just clock it 3 times. You'll be good.
You're not wrong. And hey, with the Myeu luck we've been seeing on these breezes, maybe he will just triple clock the 3C and Act Again as much as he wants.
Yeah. So yeah, you give up your turn priority, and you're also countering a play, but it's okay because later they're going to give you turn priority.
Right.
Or, Flo could just breeze people.
Yeah, breeze is always nice. Not needed on the Zerida since she'll always just breeze herself, but
When Kruger engages, he will definitely have full stacks because there's just not enough debuff removal here.
It's hard for him not to have full stacks most of the time
It
just
really is.
because of evil being as nice as it is. Unless you completely abandon your team, you're just going to throw, 6 to 9 debuffs. Oh, we got a breeze on the Mariel, though she's a little far away to make any use of it. So, yep, and Kruger already at max stacks.
Yeah, I always try to counter it, but it's freaking impossible, dude. It's just too many debuffs.
It's honestly not even worth trying to counter it. The debuffs that come out of those are fairly weak. There's like 10% stats, 10% damage taken. They can sometimes matter if you were very close on a kill. Breeze on the Illustral, by the way. Ouch. They can sometimes matter if you were very close to getting a kill. They can make a difference. But most of the time, they're just there to be obnoxious and get in the way of your dispels. Actually, interesting, there is no Forest Priests on the flow, I just realized. That's kind of surprising into a Kruger. But again, if there's already so many debuffs that you have no hope of getting rid of them all, one more,
Well, I mean,
the extra heal effect.
I don't know what situation you'd rather have bishops over Forest Priest. Unless you just don't have Forest Priest,
Bishops are a little bit more durable. Flow at 100% is quite hard to kill. Bishops with the defense buff as well. Maybe you're trying to live Illustral, but if it's Twilight Star, that's not happening.
And yeah, Mariel should definitely be Twilight Star, and if you're not Holy Flow, and either way, they're both holy. So yeah, Zerda got teleported, which was a really interesting play to keep Zerda's action up, but remove her from Illustrial's threat range.
Right, he wants... Myeu here wants to make sure that Meruru doesn't get too aggressive, since they do have a downturn coming up on this Zerda, so you don't want your opponent pushing completely into you during that time, because then you lose all that pressure from Zerda, you get pushed back in your hide and seek, so you're further back, you're not doing as much. You just never get that terrain back. Oh, that's a tenuous breeze on the Kruger.
Yeah. The entirety of what Zerda is doing here is preventing Maruru's units from being able to push up. So since Zerda is being threatened, if you just move Zerda, then she's not zoning anybody. They can just push.
Right. Tenuous breeze here is quite unfortunate though, because this Kruger can go wild next turn.
Yeah, and another breeze on Mariel too.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Lusty's threat range will go down a lot unless she procs breeze again.
Well, if she moves forward too, it'll be the same.
Fair enough, yeah.
Gospel onto the Kruger. Yep, just setting up to go bonk the enemy team next turn off that Tenuous breeze. Especially with Dark Ward giving you that extra little bit of movement. And with Zerda going on cooldown, yeah, that's a really bad timing for Myeu to see.
But there's not that much follow-up, right?
There's Illustral for follow-up. Mariel can't quite reach. There's not really anything that Myeu can do to punish it, though. Right, Jess isn't going to break your Freya. Zerida's on cooldown.
Yeah, Zerda might honestly just fail to kill the Kruger. And then Freya would just be guarding him. So
yeah, Freya will be guarding anyways, because this Freya just gets to move as far as she wants right now.
But then you eat Bozel AoE.
You do eat Bozel AoE, but there is now a Gospel on the Kruger.
Oh, yeah.
Freya's just going to hang back, though. So, Meruru probably making the wiser the wiser play and just not going completely ham.
Yeah, look, all that range
Ooh.
gone.
Yep, finally no breeze on the Zerida. That's the first time this set.
And
So
now
Lustro
Lusty
gets to
pushes
move
up.
up for free. Oh yeah. Zerida's
Zerida
gonna get
should
bullied
be
some more.
she should be running Killing Blow here, though. That's probably why Meruru backed off. If she could still follow up potentially.
Yeah. Haven't been paying attention to the set. Because you don't need faction buff if you have Bozil here.
Yeah.
Yes, it is second killing blow. Okay, so she does still have downtime, but it's not as bad with that extra killing blow.
It's more you lose the kill potential, like maybe you wouldn't be able to kill that Mariel, or maybe even that Kruger with shield.
Yeah, you would almost certainly miss the Mariel from the damage reduction. The Kruger, it depends on the build on the Kruger, but he is not Swordsmith, so you would absolutely still kill the Kruger. His backstab is still there. You're still just gonna chunk him for 3k fixed damage.
Kruger Swordsmith? That sounds insane.
Michu runs it.
Damn. Why? Never mind.
And it's the same kind of logic as running Swordsmith on Licorice, for example.
Well, Liko's like a healer. I guess Kruger kind of is.
Oh, Kruger's definitely not a healer. A little bit of support, sure. Oh, and there's the act again, and it's a Tenyo's breeze as well. Yikes! Run away, Illustria!
Yeah,
Run away!
Yeah. Well, that's all Lusty has to do. She just moves back. And then you don't have act again. What are you gonna do? Hit Freya?
Well, Illustrio has to move here, which means that Jessica teleport is unpunishable, right? You just bop the Zerida forward and then pick whoever you want. Because it's just
Is
Kruger.
it up?
It should be. I don't believe No, it did get used. It got used to save the Zerida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not up then.
If she had act again right now, it'd be up, but she used the teleport on her act. Yeah, no, she cycled. I don't know.
No, it's not up. It's not up. Because her act again is on cooldown and it's sharing teleport cooldown.
Ah, that's a good way to look at it.
That's how I always remember it, is if you use teleport with your act again, they share cooldown.
Yeah. Can never forget the cooldown if you do that. So maybe what Myeu should have done is hold his Bloodthirster for another turn and then go for the teleport play.
Potentially. Yeah, try and do teleport act again on this coming turn rather than right now, and then you would have been free to take any pick you wanted on the Zerida. Though again, if you're whatever you pick, you're gonna get killed for it. And can you afford to pick something and then let Meruru's assassins, let the Illustrio, let the Mariel come in and kill Bozil, kill Jessica? Right? That's still just as awkward of a situation as it was before.
Yeah, Mariel might not be in range. If she hits Landius, she won't be able to ignore guard, and Bozil's blocking the top side. If she procs Breeze, she would be able to hit Florentia and T-Jess right now, but if she doesn't, she would be blocked by the Lando. Because she has to hit Lando from in front of him.
Right. I was more thinking, if Zerida went in on this turn, say Zerida picks Illustrial, and then Mariel just goes up top and kills the Zerida. Though then you're not ignoring guard, so yeah. Perhaps that would be fine. But it's just going to be slow push. There's still the second killing blow. Now everyone's in Zerida range. You're not saving them all. Checking to see if Freya could potentially block enough tiles, but
Mariel just acts again here. Yeah, Mariel just acts again and kills Zerida here.
That does seems pretty good to me. Because Landius can't be displaced, so you don't even have to worry about pushing him back into guarding. If his guard is even up. I don't know if he used guard first or buff first.
His guard should be up. But yeah, Mariel should just be able to reach the Zerida. The question is it worth it? You probably lose anybody on your team. But maybe you silence. So
yeah, maybe Kruger just does Kruger things and bricks the entire team. That is a possibility.
Seems risky to me. But you will lose Mariel if you go in, that's for sure.
Yes, Mariel will die to probably Jessica.
Yeah. Watch where Meruru spams clicks. That's the secret to triggering Breeze. Thank you for the advice, Danson. I see why people call you a cheater now.
Ooh, Thorns on the bonk.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, but this should still be an easy Zerida kill.
Oh yeah, you're in no danger. Well, there is actually EMB, so yeah, you do get counter-killed and don't actually pick up the kill at all.
Damn.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, so now Myeu has to move a healer, or else she's dead to Kruger AoE.
Yep. Or Zerida could just go ham, use animation priority to maybe pick off the Lyanna. No, it's going to be Jessica going in. Ooh, Jessica's going to pick this Illustrial.
Yeah.
And then heal up the Zerida. That's a rough place if you're Meruru. So yeah, EMB Zerida, showing why it's still relevant, getting that counter kill.
That was surprising, yeah.
Thorns proc was just enough.
And actually, those were where all the evil debuffs were, so we see Kruger with no talent stacks.
Right, no damage up, and you're hitting a Zerida in hide and seek.
That's very good positioning on Florentia, zoning Kruger. And
yeah,
so, yeah,
it's not enough to kill. Silence on the Zerida. Though she has troops now, so she's not hitting around guard anyways. No silence on the Bozel. Mobility down.
If Kruger had that damage up, that should be a dead Zerida.
I'd imagine, yeah. Mobility down on the Landius as well. But yeah, no, you can't kill this Jessica that's standing in front of you. You can't kill the Zerida. You can't kill this Bozel anymore. 3C comes out from the Florin.
That Tenuo's Breeze on Zerida really messed things up.
Oh, absolutely. Florin healing up soldiers on the Zerida, but you're just going to get AoE'd again. The Zerida is going to die here. I mean, that's just 1 out of 5. How are you dealing with the rest?
Kruger does have Gospel.
Though he's going to lose it when he acts, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, Black Hole comes out anyways, though. Heal block on the Lyanna, I saw.
Yeah, this
Silence
just...
on the Freya, not super relevant. I don't think guard is close to going down.
No, yeah. This looks pretty rough. I mean, Zerida could die here, but...
Zerida's very dead. Because keep in mind, she's at 46, but it's all troop health off of Florin support.
Yeah, she's at like 1,100 at the moment.
Something like that. Very, very low. Very easily killed by this Kruger, especially now that you have all your talent stacks.
You can't even go for like a cheeky AoE on the T-Jess and then hope Freya kills, even though I really imagine she wouldn't, because Landius can just move.
Freya offensive damage also just never does anything.
Yeah.
Freya offense isn't really a thing.
She hits like a gentle spring breeze.
There is a heal block on that Jessica, though. So we won't be seeing Sorks coming back anytime soon, especially not with silence on the Florin. Oh, well, he's... Yep, and there's the... little bit of fixed damage. Fixed damage chip is nice. You did block Volandius is blocked off from reaching, but if he has guard skill to put up now, then you're not killing this Zerida. Kruger has to, or you're not killing this Jessica.
Yeah.
Kruger needs to cast Evil on somebody before he has another AoE available. His Evil should be off cooldown because he hit 4 with 3C and then took an extra action. So he should be able to use that and get another AoE, in the chamber.
Yeah.
Florin being silenced is probably the only thing probably the thing that I would say is keeping Meruru in this game.
Yeah, no, I agree, because there's not a great way to get through the Freya.
Right. And there's absolutely nothing to do about that silence on Florence. There's no healing for 2 turns.
So yeah, I just see that window you're talking about.
Ooh. Jess almost kills herself.
Yeah, do you just kill T-Jess here, right? Freya...
As long as you don't lose your Leanna to Bozal. There is sleep on the Bozal. That's your way through this Freya, is to make her take a nap, and then someone else, kills the Leanna, kills the Kruger. But at this point, you're running out of options for doing that. Jess was one of your best bets, but Jess wasn't enough to kill the Leanna. And now you're just going to lose the Jess.
These debuffs are brutal on both sides.
Oh, definitely. The Leanna is heal blocked, keep in mind.
Yeah. And I think she has fixed damage on her too.
I didn't see that, but yeah, a burn would definitely hurt.
So Meruru, who has turn priority here? Meruru, right?
It will be Meruru just because they have less units. Yeah.
So yeah, you don't need to kill T-Jess right now, because you can just kill her at the start of next turn.
Right. I think Kruger's probably looking to just throw out a big AoE at the start of the turn and pick up the kill then.
Yeah.
I don't see a burn on Leanna, so it looks like she should be sitting comfortable at 30.
Oh, okay. I guess I missaw that.
Now the question, if you're Meruru, is how in the world do you kill this Bozal?
Yeah, that's...
Freya's not doing it. Kruger's not doing it. Right,
and I guess
this Bozal is actually the most durable unit on the field right now.
I guess what's going to happen here, though, is Kruger gets slept, right? And then Kruger can't kill... Oh, but... Okay, no, never.
Yeah, Landius just starting off action volume. That's a very reasonable thing. Though if Gospel goes on to Kruger, you're not putting him to sleep.
Oh, I was going to say the position. If Freya moved forward 1 tile, then Bozal wouldn't have been able to hit Kruger because he's not flying.
Bozal can move down 1.
Oh, Jesus. This is why
That's not where the cliff is.
Yeah.
Oh, Bozal just actually basic attacking here. Not really doing a lot. Put some debuffs on the Freya, but I don't know. Gospel now goes on to the Kruger. That was your window if you wanted to sleep. It is gone.
Did sleep just get you somewhere and we're crazy?
No, because the Bozal hasn't done anything. The Bozal's just clicked Black Hole once.
Yeah.
And here's another 4-man Everdark from the Kruger. Ow. Goodbye, Jess. Florin now heal blocked. Silence is going to wear off, fortunately, but...
We might see a Freya kill this Florentia with a Rose Lash.
Yeah, that might actually happen.
That'll be cool. It actually does a surprisingly decent amount of damage. So yeah, the Rose Lash is up. It should kill.
Here it comes. And that's your way to kill the Bozal as well, is just... Well, no, you're not poking him down with fixed damage because he's Bracer. Because of course he is.
Yeah, but now he has so little healing.
All he needs is the troop healing, honestly. Ooh, clock on the sleep. Very nice. The Bozal's not killing anything, but neither are you killing the Bozal. So I think it's going to end up coming down to damage. Meruru has the advantage here in damage currently, has extra units, but you have to keep in mind that he's not going to be dealing much damage either. Leanna's dead too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, she needed to stay in her position.
He can get evil back up right now with Kruger using the shield.
Yeah, and that doesn't tick down buffs, so it doesn't hurt your gospel.
I wonder if this Bozel's just going to carry for Myeu, though. Especially with the clock on sleep.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
just
know.
free damage.
Yeah, well, let's see how many more clock sleep has. Because he can't sleep. He can't sleep anybody here. So he has to save it.
There's still a lot of turns left as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's
Bozel going to buff.
And here you can guaranteed sleep Kruger.
Yes. And if Kruger goes to sleep, then there's not any damage on Meruru's side.
Oh, but he...
Well, you can't guarantee sleep this turn, but you can sleep next turn. So you can either sleep the Freya, or you can wait and sleep the Kruger on the next turn. Yeah, and then Freya's fixed damage not going to be relevant since it's Bracer, Pure Mage, Bozel. So it's all blocked.
I was thinking Meruru had turn prio, but he does not.
It is just going to be sleep on the Freya. Perhaps hoping to pick off the Kruger with Landius, or just get a bunch of damage dealt with Landius.
Yeah, and there's no clock this time, so Kruger is pretty safe. Landius will be dead shortly.
Not dead yet. Black Hole should be up relatively soon, I'd imagine. Yep, there's all the immunes. He's just going to take free damage on the Freya, actually. Ooh, silence onto the Kruger. No AoEs for you, although there's no good AoE since it's Dark Dragon Breath. You'd only be hitting one anyways.
This is such an awkward situation.
I think Myeu might have it just because he's going to get to farm damage off of this Freya here. Because where do you attack with this Kruger?
Honestly, looking at that
net positive there.
Like,
net
looking
positive
at that
because you're getting troops.
Ooh.
Actually, that was better for the Landius because he popped his revive and got troops back. So he actually did more damage by getting himself killed there. And now this Freya's just going to die. Myeu only behind by 4k damage. And I really think that Bozel's going to outdamage in the end game. Yep, bye-bye. And another silence. 50-50 silences all over.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you have to kill Landius.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So let's hope for not another... Or Meruru's hoping not to get Soul Gathered again. Black Hole's probably up.
It should be 2 turns left. Yep, Black Hole.
And that could be... Oh, no, that's both.
And Clock. Yep, Silence and Clock. There's another Black Hole coming next turn. You are only up by 5k damage. And here comes Black Hole number 2. We did see he did more damage than the Bozo with the basic attack before, but that was while he had his talent debuffs. I don't know if he's going to do enough now.
Oh
and
my god.
Silenced again. At 50-50 Soul Gather every single turn.
Isn't it like 30?
It's 50. It is 50.
Oh, I always get it mixed
It's slightly
up.
better, but nope, it is going to be a win for Myeu. That Bozel just could not be stopped. There you go. Just in case, but I don't imagine we'll see backup.
That was some pretty crazy RNG from the Bozel in the end game there. I think looking at Bozel's stats, it was only 800-ish MDef. There might have been an opportunity to kill Bozel sooner.
Maybe, but I mean, Kruger's soldiers, Crystal Warlock's not a lot of attacks, so you're not doing any damage with soldiers. That's 20. He had 1200 int into that magic defense. You had to somehow kill the Warlocks of the Bozel first. I don't think there was ever an opportunity to kill Bozil.
Yeah, maybe not. And so again, both players not swapping anything.
Nope. And we are 1-1, so we are getting a game 3 here. Hilda I imagine, on both sides. I'd still be shocked to see a Hilda allowed through.
Yeah, it's just too much Tensei from both sides. She's just clearly the best option to ban.
Right. Tensei's such an incredible faction. Hilda really pulled the faction together.
Yeah, she did. Well, they in the first couple years of the game, they were talking about how we don't want to release faction buff tanks like Landius and Juggler, and then they quickly realized after trying to make Tensei that doesn't work.
It's very hard for a tank. It's very hard to justify a tank that can't bring their own buff.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, I think every faction needs it.
Right.
And they apparently see that with the new Princess faction buffer tank.
Yeah, which she looks very good. Rest in peace, Amelia.
Yeah.
You will be missed.
So we're seeing the same routes. Are we gonna see
Landius, I
Freya
imagine
again?
Freya. Yeah, it is going to be Freya. Freya did very well the last game.
Yeah.
She couldn't bring it out against the Bozil, unfortunately, just because he was fixed immune. But against everything else, she did exceptionally. And it will be Jess again from Myu's side.
She gave him a lot last game. Just that was exactly what we were talking about with T-Just is so versatile.
Right. She was able to save the Zerida early in the game, and then in the late game come in and make an important pick on the Illustrial, and even hang around for longer than she really should have.
Yeah.
So she didn't do much after picking the Illustrial, but she did put enough pain. She did put enough pain on the Leanna that Landius eventually picked her off. So yeah, very, very helpful last game for that Jessica.
She definitely deserves second pick.
Oh yeah. It's going to be Zerida Rosen ban, so no more Zerida gameplay. And with Rosen ban, Kruger comes out again. No surprises there. The only surprising thing actually is that there's not a Bozil to go with this Kruger in Meruru's box.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Kruger seems really interesting in this box since there's so little debuff, but he was still putting out hella work last game, so.
Right, he's definitely a good enough unit that you can run him as your only debuffer, and he will still be very helpful, kind of like Bozil was in the past.
Yeah.
Where you would just see a single Bozil as the AoE debuffer in a box, and it was still incredibly relevant.
Kruger even has more utility in that regard between Evil or Midnight Feast and his 3C, of course.
Right, and Shield.
Yeah,
Shield is fantastic if you're playing against, an aggressive single target rush box. Shield can just make them suddenly miss a kill on your tank, for example, and then they just kind of crumple at that point.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Leanna on Myu's side to deal with the Kruger. So not forced onto Florin this time, not going to take the Florin. Leanna much more adept at dealing with Kruger debuffs. Florin struggled a bit last game.
Yeah, and then she got silenced. If you're not running Bracer Flow, it's really hard for her to do much against debuff because there's going to be a point where your Florentia has to get hit by debuffs.
Right. And if she gets silenced, she's just doing absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a Leanna mirror on Meruru's side. So no Actigan advantages on either side of the field. No worries about shenanigans from that. Ares and Zerida get banned, so shutting down some of the mobility, shutting down some AoE damage to go along with the Kruger. Reasonable decision. A lot of what Meruru has left is the Elwyn, not really relevant here. Landius, not relevant. Rosen, not relevant. Mariel could be okay. Deedwit's kind of awkward into a Landius, though.
I like D-Lit versus Landius, and I still like Elwyn versus Landius because Elwyn can dispel guard, and that can force you into some hard decisions.
Right. But you need to have something to do when guard is dispelled, and that's not the kind of comp that Meru's drafted so far.
Yeah,
So
because
he can
you pick
dispel the
Elwyn
guard. Yeah, he can dispel the guard, but who's going to actually kill someone off of it?
because you just ban D-Lit and Mariel.
Meru ends up timing out there, though, does not get another ban. He was looking at, it looked like Bozel and Licorice bans, but could not decide in time.
Yeah, so that kind of changes that ban pick route because now you might want to ban Rosin and pick a debuffer.
Yeah.
But there is already Liana.
Yeah, Leanna's already going to be good against a solitary debuffer. Just Bozel, especially just Licorice, is not going to do much into Liliana.
We're definitely going to see D-Lit here.
Rosen gets banned, though, so maybe not. We will see D-Lit for Meruru. Yeah, and it is Bozel again.
Yes, I meant Meruru.
Yeah, that's my bad.
I mean, there's D-Lits on both sides.
Bozel carried him last game. Bozel coming back for seconds.
But there is that good single target combo between Elwyn dispelling guard and D-Lit potentially sniping something. D-Lit will usually do good damage against Landius.
D-Lit's not sniping a Bozel, though.
Not a Bozel, no.
Mariel, yeah. Jessica, you should never get close to.
Yeah.
But, you could potentially snipe the Mariel for sure. Maybe the Liana.
If you bring heavy infantry, I feel like there's a chance D-Lit can kill a Bozel.
Not if you... Bozel's just going to have Warlocks, and you're going to bounce. Because your soldiers are going to hit first.
They'd have to bring Sorks.
Yeah. Even then, I feel like it'd be awkward to try for.
Oh, I've definitely killed Bozels with Sorks.
Really, with heavy infantry D-Lit?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my D-Lit's Teddy.
Well, D-Lit herself doesn't really matter in that scenario.
Yeah.
It's all the infantry. Infantry are very good.
So, win condition wise, again, we have annoying TJS teleporting Bozel in, and we have that with turn priority too from Myu's side.
Yeah, I think I like Myu's team more here. The Elwyn is kind of a dead pick. I don't know. I'm not a believer in the D-Lit dream of killing Landius either.
If he brings Templars, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, though Templars does leave him a little bit more vulnerable to the Elwyn, and it is Templars. So yeah, somewhat vulnerable to the Elwyn, but it's not going to kill Bloodpact Landius with the Liana behind him. You're not going to do too much to him.
Yeah, the thing is, you wouldn't leave Elwyn up 4th that late unless you were running Bloodpact Landius.
Right. Kruger looks like he's thinking about infecting someone. Yep, here he goes. Will be the Jess again.
Liana usually has to stay near the team because of her talent.
So yep, just gonna go ahead and infect the Liana.
And if you move her out, then she's not in range to act against people that are following up. Or if you move her back, rather.
Right.
So it kind of ties their hand. Forces their hand, I should say.
Another point of note, Meruru is bringing Redeemers on his Freya. Did so last game as well. But he is facing a Bozel. I don't know, that feels awkward to me. I guess you don't want Phalanxes into what is almost certainly going to be Highlands on the Mariel. Because then you're just kind of asking to die.
I like Guardian Infantry here.
Yeah, I would agree with Guardian Infantry. Didn't realize she had those.
Yeah. Freya's troops are immaculate.
Yeah. I would definitely, would have preferred Guardian Infantry here, even with Templars on the Landius. Um, the revive from Redeemers is just not going to be relevant unless you keep a Gospel on Freya permanently, which you do have 2 Gospels. I believe we saw last game that it's Teddy on the Leanna, so
Yes.
actually you can just keep a Gospel there all the time since you have Deedlit here.
The one point in question there is Landius Aura. His reduction in crit will disable Redeemers.
That is true. Yep.
But that takes a while, you know. Landius has to get all the way over to Freya, and tanks are limited by guarding who is pushing in.
I think we're going to see everyone huddling in the middle again this game, though.
Pretty
Especially
much.
with no Zerida, no Illustrial. There's not really anything to slow these teams down from just kind of walking towards each other semi-aggressively.
And Ellen, because of that guard dispel, makes you have to play really slowly and stay in range of your tank. Myeu used guard first turn. The main reason for that is you want the cooldown to be up faster, so you can be more aggressive later.
Yep, for sure. Ooh, Leanna's actually going to peace out, though, to avoid spreading debuffs anywhere, and then Gospel herself to just deny everything.
Yeah, that looks like a fine position.
And there actually is no Gospel on the Leanna for Meruru, which means there is no perma-Gospel Freya to try and protect Redeemers. But again, Redeemers aren't really relevant here at all.
Dealit can just keep it up for a really long time anyway.
But if Deedwit's Gospeling Freya, then where's Kruger's buffs?
Yeah. Prayer will be good for hitting Elwyn after he goes in, though.
Yep.
Like, we don't see Amazons on Mariel, which is usually something you see to counter Elwyn, so she can easily score a kill on him. There's T-Jess to blow him up.
Yeah, T-Jess should have lightning here, yes, because you usually actually do need that lightning in order to kill Elwyn's. If they're on terrain with unicorns, oftentimes, you know, if you have like Frost Strike, for example, it's actually not enough damage. But with lightning, you can easily bop that Elwyn at any given point. And then you have the Bozal for AoE damage to clean him up afterwards.
Yeah.
So if he goes in from outside of a tank guard, then he's almost certainly dead.
Dealit brought 3C?
Right, because there's buff from Freya, so she doesn't need... Well, no, wait, she brought Gospel. Oh, she's not bringing Sea of Miracles into a Bozal. That's interesting. 3C does let her spread immunity around, though.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry as much about the Bozal, but it means that if things do hit you, you're not really in a position to deal with it. You do have the Leanna, though, which is always a nice option against those debuffs.
I still like Sea of Miracles a lot here, though.
Same. It's always hard to... Whenever I'm using my Diva, it's always hard to find to ever justify not bringing Sea of Miracles for me personally.
Yeah, like you can preventatively put up Gospel on a bunch of people, and that's kind of better than the one turn of debuff immunity is hard to use. They can just go in, they can just wait it out. And I just like being able to cycle Gospel really fast. And it's just a huge boon to your entire team.
Yep, that is fair. She does have the +1 movement, which is very nice. Since she is bringing 3C, you know.
Yeah.
Tested. That's usually the one cost passive of choice to go with 3C. So that can definitely be relevant for just, you know, a unit thinks they're just barely safe from Elwyn, for example, and then oops, +1 movement.
Run that MDef break. Let's kill this Landius.
You joke, but I do typically run MDef break, but that's because I use Estelle, so I don't need the movement.
Fair enough. No, I could see situations where you would. Yeah, Octavia. Liana on Meru's side is plushy. But she didn't bring gospel.
And we see that the Liana on Myu's side is also plushy because she did gospel herself.
Yeah.
Just 3 turns. So, plushies all around.
Damn, I shouldn't have said that it's plushy. I should have just said that it's doesn't have gospel. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have gospel, so it's irrelevant. It does mean that there's no swordsmith, though. There's no meditation ring.
That is relevant for determining that there's not silence immunity.
Interesting, this TGS actually is not Twilight Star, so it's probably... I wonder what accessory you run if you're not Twilight Star. You could run Holy Ring for silence immunity. You could run Starry Ring just for the HP on that accessory, being better than magic defense. Ooh, Landius is moving up. Ooh, Elwyn's getting... Yep, Elwyn's getting bopped. Wind Wall is enough to save him, though. Wind Wall plus terrain.
I really like that Landius position, though, because there's no way to dispel the guard here, and you're probably going to see Mariel move right up underneath that Landius, but now Liana's not in position. Oh, wait.
Well, Mariel's not going anywhere. Mariel's going to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second. That seems like 4 blocks.
So, I guess Mew's okay with trading away the Mariel there. He was hoping to get a life off of this Elwyn for it. He did not end up getting that. Now his Liana's in danger as well.
A slight misposition on Mariel there.
Yeah, that's definitely an awkward scenario for Mew to be in, because this Liana is also going to die to this Elwyn.
Yeah. There's no way she can get back in tank range.
Right. Well,
a turn prio?
there is a... Yeah, it looks like a breeze on the Liana, so she can get back. She is gonna, throw a bunch of debuffs on her team from that evil, but it's better than being dead. Whoa. I guess that is far enough away that Elwyn's not reaching you.
Yeah.
But now there's no Tenuo's buff on this Liana, so you're you got a Sky Archer for healing.
The Sky Archer has to move in and use Dispel probably now because you want to reduce...
Nope, Sky Archer's just going to poke the Elwyn.
I was thinking to reduce the incoming damage from Kruger.
I think you're better off saving that Dispel. Hope that your Sky Archer doesn't get silenced, and then get rid of any of the debuffs that come off of this Kruger. But this is going to hurt.
Counterpoint. Hope for Gale. Hope for Gale.
True. There's always a chance.
A 20% one, yeah.
Silence onto the Landius. Doesn't look like Guard got dispelled. There's an Act again, though, as well. Kruger's just going to hit again. That Sky Archer's dead. There's no dispelling. Jessica dead? Not quite. But, again, Kruger's fully reset now. He can just cast Evil and then 3C and Jessica dies.
And the other thing is, Landius is dead to Deedlit.
At this point, yes. Especially there's a burn on that Landius as well. So if he takes his turn now, he's very dead to Deedlit. If he tries to survive the Deedlit and fails, then he just dies to burn. Jess does have 3C available, but she can't attack. If she attacks, she just dies to fixed damage from Freya. And she can't move either from that mobility down. She's stuck.
There's a chance like even Elwyn could kill Landius here, right?
Oh, absolutely. From 30%, Elwyn can kill Landius. 100%. But it's going to be Deedlit. So Deedlit's going to come in, take the first life. This is an easy kill.
Yeah, this is looking pretty over.
Absolutely. The Bozel's going to be obnoxious, right? You're going to click black hole, cross your fingers for a clock, but are you even going to make it to the next turn? Landius might just die to Kruger, and then Bozel goes down from Elwyn.
Yeah, that could. It's Templars. He should be okay.
He should be fine, but it is full stack Kruger.
Yeah,
I
he's
imagine it's
probably
6-star, so
dead.
30% damage
I'm just thinking after the black hole.
after the black hole. Yeah, probably. But
But
no,
yeah,
Myu's just going to call it, so that will be a 2-1 win for Meruru. And that will be the end of the stream because we are done.
indeed.
So yeah, that was very well played. Um, Meruru takes it 2-1, played very well. Myeu played very well in game 2. Bozel able to clutch it out with Bozel at the end there, but it was not enough for game 3.
If Miu wants, they can still join regular Summit season if they'd like. I think we should still be doing that just because top 32. Yeah, better luck to Miu in there or in next season.
Yep. They will have to get with Straw or Dango and figure out where they're getting dropped if they want to go for that.
Yeah.
But that will be it for us. So I will see you guys later.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.
I'll see you later, Rope.
See ya.